greatest month. It never usually is, but we had a good April. We beat. That's 2 months in a row again. Are you shutting that door, man? That's 2 months in a row again. Now we're back on the beat last year. Okay, which is good because I think we lost January, lost February, we almost matched March, and then we beat March and beat April. So we're back to beating the months last month, kill this month. Okay? But like I was saying, now there's RMs and there's RVPs in here, so there's a mixture of people in here, right? Okay, what I was saying is, like, whatever you are, we've got to get back to stepping up those goals again, getting that thinking going, okay? We can't keep staying the same. And I'll tell you what blows my mind is how many people think that goal setting is a bunch of crap. I'll never figure that out, man. How do you think anything ever got accomplished without a goal? Huh? I mean, my God, we're lucky God doesn't think like that.
Right.
You understand? You gotta have goals, folks. You don't get away with not having goals. You just kind of wander around, oh, it'll happen someday. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
Like all of you would like to be out of the field, wouldn't you? Don't lie. Don't give me that Gary McCrummon stuff that he gave me that one time, where me and him had to have a confrontation outside in the hallway. A lot of you witnessed that, some of you didn't. He one time got up at a meeting after I got done and talked about the dream for me was to not be in the field. He got up right after I spoke and said, well, I disagree with Rick. I always want to be in the field. The biggest lie I have ever heard publicly spoken, and called me and made it like I was wrong on top of it. And I got him out in the hallway and I said, Gary, where did that crap come from? Were you just trying to show me up or something? What was that? I mean, we had a few words about it. He goes, well, I believe that. I go, you're full of crap. You're the biggest partier in this hierarchy. What are you talking about want to be in the field the rest of your life? I never see myself out of the field. Folks, if I put a lie detector thing up here, we'd have to have clear the room.
Right.
If I put you up here and said, would you like to be out of the field ever? And you said no, you think Oklahoma City was a bomb. That machine would blow up. The dream and goal of every person in this room is to have a hierarchy big enough to where you don't need to be in the field every night. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Set the goal. That's how it happens. Set the goal. Now Mark and Sue bought mine. Okay? I just thought that a $250,000 hierarchy happened to be solid. See, and what I mean when I say I'm out of the field, what Mark and Sue they're not really in the field at night as much. You understand? They're not grinding out personal premium at night and worrying about training 14 directs they've gotten. That's out of the field. Do you still go on lunches and try to get people going and go on interviews with the, yes, of course you do. I'm still in the field technically. I don't maybe do as much as them as I used to, but, I'll still go to lunches with people and things like that. But that night stuff, that you're out every night, Rich, don't you see it someday? You see yourself not having to be somewhere tonight? That's the dream and the goal. But it only will occur when you set that goal. Like Rick Harvest, what's yours?
Haven't said it yet.
Okay. What do you think you see? Does 250 make sense to you?
I think so.
Yeah. It's a very good, solid number. Very good, solid number. Now, what's the problem with a lot of people? Did you notice they have hierarchies and then they go down? You know why, don't you? They get out of the field way too soon. Ken Parent's the best example I've ever seen of that. He got out of the field 6 months after he went RVP. He was doing like $80,000. And when his hierarchy grew, it went up to like $400,000. But it was a house of cards. Okay? Because he didn't train a lot of the people. There was a young group involved. There was a nucleus of young people that weren't really trained on how to do this thing. And then they got whisked away by some mortgage guru who said mortgages will go. A multi-level mortgage bank stole 80% of his hierarchy. Yeah. So he went literally from doing $350 to $400 down to $100,000. 50 grand, 70 grand. And now all those guys are broke, looking for jobs. See, you can't do that. It's got to be solid. So now, if some of you who are way smaller than the number I'm throwing up there are out of the field right now, you got a problem. You're trusting a system that doesn't work. You're trusting the magic of the compound interest, but you're not in a mutual fund. You're in a CD. See? You're at 100 grand. So basically, I'm talking the Micon, the Benitez's. Basically, that's it. Anybody else, I don't even, there ain't nobody else in here out of it. Gary, you're not out of the field. You told me you're already at 6, 7 grand premium. Right. Mike, you're not out of the field yet, are you?
No.
Sandy and Jorge? Not. Still hiring directs, building a hierarchy, right? Now, next year, this time you'll probably be at 250, 300 grand. You do that a couple, 3 months in a row, you're pretty much going to fly from there.
My goal rate is cash flow. Like if I cash, the month I cash flow $100,000 in 1 month, that's the time I make a deal.
Oh, well, that's a big goal. That's fine. You know, that'd be yours, and that's a good goal. Okay, but like I said, I was a premium person. I thought that when you did 250, 2 months in a row was my goal. That was not going to go away. Okay, and there was another reason too that I did it because back in the early 89, 90 when Art did that call, it didn't make any more sense. I had too big of a hierarchy overnight to stay in the field and worry about $40 sales when I had to make 30 calls a night to people that went RVP that shouldn't have been. And thank God we saved a lot of people that way. Now a lot of people had to go back to RM, but we did save a lot of people. Okay, but those are the big pictures. Then like I was telling everybody else on these contests, I mean we had like 12, 13 people there in my hierarchy. I think 13 counting me. And I was looking at that book they give you, everybody's name, and I said, wait a minute, now there's 450 spots here. And we have 13 of them. That didn't make any sense to me. Why we didn't have all of you in that contest. That's how it's got to be by next year's. Gary, everybody in this room, the RMs should be RVPs, and they're going because they went new RVP. And all the RVPs currently are going to go because they're going to find out what the guidelines are. Okay? That's another thing. See, I want to play in a golf tournament. Now, I've played golf before, but I really don't know the rules. For example, do you guys think that if you tee off on number 1 with a max fly golf ball, you think you're allowed to putt with the Titleist? You got to putt with the ball that you hit off that tee. Unless it's got a bad cut in it from a bad shot or hit a tree or something, then you're allowed to ask the competitor if you can take that ball out of play. But if I'm playing with a max fly and I get to the green and I mark my ball, and then my competitor sees me pull out a Titleist ball, brand new, shiny, and set that down on the mark and I cut it, and he doesn't say anything till the end of the round and I sign my card, he reports me to the tournament director, I'm out of the tournament. Did you know that? Then you can't win a golf tournament, can you? Because you don't even know the rules, huh? You know why most of you can't win anything? If I walk up to you in the midst of a contest this company's having, you couldn't even tell me the rules. You don't even know the guidelines of them. Why? Why would you do that with your life? Why would you be that undirected with your life? Do you think it's good? Huh? You guys live like you're financially independent. That's okay. See how I'm laughing about losing my ring? Well, it wasn't funny when I lost it. But afterwards, I can laugh about it because I can afford it. I'm financially independent, so it's no big deal. I'll get it replaced, whatever. Go through the system that I have to go through to try to get it replaced. You see? But I can act like that because I am. You guys act like that and you're not. You follow? You got too lackadaisical of an attitude about things, and you got to stop that and get a little more intense and a little more focused. Like, Rick, are you going to miss the next trip?
Oh, no.
Now, hopefully we can change their minds on the next trip. I'm not real thrilled about the next trip if they do what they said they're going to do. They're talking about Rome and Italy, but only that for 6-7 days. It doesn't work, trust me. I was miserable for 12 days because what happens is the 2 days before and 2 days after, you're like a zombie. But now, that's me. I don't like Europe. Okay, I'm an American pie boy. Give me Hawaii, Caribbean. I'm the Caribbean, right? But I'll go there. But I am an American type of guy. I'm a Hawaii guy. I'm a Boca Raton kind of guy. I just like America. But for some of you, maybe Europe will turn you on beyond belief. Okay? But it doesn't matter where we go, really. It's like a trophy. You just want to win that contest, okay? But we are going to try to talk about it. All right? Because a lot of people, first of all, I don't think they're going to do it because they can't write it off. Did you know that? Yeah, cannot write off if it goes out of country, which means then they have to 1099 us. So that's another thing See, I'm the kind of guy that you could give me Hawaii every year. If there was a contest of Hawaii every year, I'm in. You see? Or even like I like South Florida, there's the Keys, there's a lot of other places too. There's South Carolina. They act like that's not a good, I don't know how many of you have been to South Carolina, the coast of South Carolina. Unbelievable. Now there's Myrtle Beach, that other place they play that tournament, Hilton Head, unbelievable trips down there too. So there's same thing, they'll announce it soon, and it'll probably be, May or June of next year. But the point is that, why do you wait? Mark, are you going to wait to hear the announcement before you start working? You got it? You don't wait for an announcement before you... Now, John and Mary, that was your first one, huh?
Yeah.
Can you picture never being on another one? No. That's scary, huh? See, you get treated like that kind of vacation, You guys were making pretty good money, and you still would have never taken a vacation to a place like that. There's no way. Your rooms had to cost $300, $350 a night. So you're there you were only there 4 nights, So you figure, still, that's about a $3,000 trip. Now, if you went on something like that, you probably would have charged it, right? On a credit card or something like that, and then spent a year paying it off. Instead, you just went for free. It cost you a couple $100 of utility money, whatever. Okay. I got our copy of our retreat forms and the contest. Okay, so anyway, let's just focus on that. And like I said, I really think we can double. All right? It's so simple. Okay, let me prove it to you. Jorge and Sandy, your hierarchy does anywhere from 120 now, about 120 average, right? Okay, 4 or 5 months from now, you can't be at 240. You know how easy it would be for you guys to go from 120 to 240? Mike, what are you at?
About 110.
110 to 220? Right, just a little bit of effort, right? Just a little bit of effort. John and Mary, 25, 30 every month? 60? Mark guarantees he'll be at 106 months. Rich and Chris, 70, 80, that's double, right? JP, you've been doing 25, 30. You're ready to be at 60, 50 by the end of the year. Gary, you've been farting around 50, 60 in your hierarchy for months and years now, actually. You're going on 2 years. It's time for you to double. That's it. That's all you talk about. James doing 8 grand, James doing 16 grand. Right? Meredith's doing 10 grand, Meredith's doing 20 grand. That's how it works. Now I heard a number. Mark and Annie did 30-something again, but I heard Kevin and Tammy were most of it. That's good. You developed that leg. You should be proud of that. But let them do what they're going to do. You two go do something else. You go get another 25, 30 grand going. They're going to do their 25, 30 grand. What are you going to have? 60. See, why can't people think like this? I know exactly how to grow my hierarchy now, don't I? I don't have to worry about the younger hierarchy, do I? No, that's going to grow. If I called up their RVPs and told them to quit, it would grow. It would. They'd go, hey, okay, Rick, well, no problem. Yeah, thanks, nice talking to you. What a wacko. Right? Off they'd go. See? Go win anyway. So I don't have to do much of that, do I? What I need to do is get the other piece going and compete with those guys, and we're all going to win. And then when we start kicking their butt, they're going to get pissed and get bigger again, and right? And, just keep going like that. But I got to tell you what they said. They all were having dinner one night over there, about 12 of you? And that, right before the dinner, I said, I just want to let you know that the other half of my hierarchy will not just beat you, we will beat you up. Okay? But then we started laughing. They kind of went, get one of those shots, right? So then at dinner, they discussed it for 10 seconds, Gary. That's how much credence they gave us. And they said it to everybody. Anyway, so how's the kids? They didn't even give it any credence.
I think we had more wine for it after that.
It doesn't matter. They have no respect for us. In a nice way. They like us. They think we're nice people. But they like the dormancy of our other piece of business. Well, it's over. I'm telling you, starting next Saturday, if you guys want to be a part of that Super Saturday, you better warn your people before you come to it. Because it ain't going to be a love-joy session. Those first few we have are going to be dogged determination, real life-changing meetings. Okay? Because you guys are getting your teeth kicked through the back of your head. All of us are. And that's not a good thing. It's good for the youngers. They got a lot of winning going on in there. Not a good thing for the other piece. And in actuality, you are hurting the youngers. Because when a team starts to win easily, there's a bad side to that. Eventually, some complacency can get in there. Like nobody's challenging them. Nobody's pushing them. See, Mark and Sue have always operated better when pushed. So if they just get up there alone and nobody, because Hector's other half ain't doing it. Hector's other half ain't even touching our other half. So they ain't going to be in that game. Right? It's got to be us. All right? It's got to be us. And then when we do that kind of, oh man, 5 years from now, could you imagine? We literally will have, 5 years from now, I believe 150 to 200 people making over 100 grand. And most of them should be making over 200 grand. That's what's going to happen from this competition. And I think we'll spread all over, Mark. I think we'll be in most of the states in this country in the next 5 years. Through networking or whatever, we're going to spread to all of you guys. Like you guys are from Chicago, we'll get back there. Things are going to happen everywhere. Like a lot of people know people in Texas and the South, and we're just going to, like you already got Alabama, little thing. See how it's going to happen? Yeah, you see what's going to happen? We're going to be, and then that'll end up all over the South because of our philosophy. So we cannot, I know you guys hate to sit through some of these talks sometimes when there goes Rick again on his work ethic thing, on his hard work thing. God, you got to pick up on that. It is the secret right now. We're at those things, now you guys. Don't you notice how nobody really wants to work? They just don't want to work. And you know what I told Pete and Judy? We talked to them like the last night there for a while. And I said, Pete, the one thing that I'm going to try my best as a field cabin senior leader of this company is I'm going to start talking whenever I get a chance. If it's Rich, if it's Dick, if it's Turley, if it's anybody I talk to stop these guys from pounding on Sandy and Joe for more money. They never want to do more business. They just want more money. You see what's wrong? Now, what's that sound like? Baseball players. They don't want to hit, Griffey don't want to hit 50 home runs, steal 50 bases, and bat 350 like his God-given talent told him to do. Now, he just wants $7 million a year for showing up, because I'm Ken Griffey. And a lot of the guys in this company think they're legends, and they're definitely legends in their own mind. They think they built their hierarchies. You should hear some of them. What have I had to do with anything to do with Cox 60 grand a month last week? Nothing. I didn't have anything to do with that. I burned his butt to help him a couple years ago because I saw some embarrassment in it. That ain't a training sale. That's not lunch every day with his people. See, we got to work on ourselves, folks. Don't work, Gary. Don't work on your people. They don't need that. They need you to be you, better you. Then they'll pick up on that. So that's why Rick went back to work on Rick again. I'm going to work on my house, on my team, on everything, all these little things, right? Stop making excuses for why I'm not doing it and go to work on me. Because if Rick improves, Rosa improves, then people under us will naturally improve. All right? Doesn't that help you though, John? Does that take a burden off you going, I don't have to manage any of my people anymore. I just have to manage John. Wow, that's easy. See? Where's Mark and Lizette? There's no Huh? Maybe he didn't know there was one or something.
No, I talked to her, she's tired, but they're very
I hope everything's all right. But anyway, I know their month wasn't all right. They did 27 grand. They found that out there in the morning. Huh?
Yeah, they were the lowest ending in our whole verse.
Yeah.
They submitted.
Really? Black hole thing again? How come you and I never have any missing premium? Secretaries? Must be it. For the last 4 months in a row, we've had more premium than I thought we did. Yeah. Didn't you? So it's amazing. Can I go over that for 2 minutes again? Why do we have such a problem communicating that to you? You guys blow my mind. What'd you do? Da-da-da-da. Those numbers final, Cindy? Yeah. 16 to 20 of you every single month are not just a little bit off. You're a lot of bit off. If it was a little bit, wouldn't faze me. But like some of you are only doing 12 grand, 5 grand, 10 grand. You'll tell me I did 10 grand, 6,100. Now I did 81,000 last month. That's equivalent of me telling Hector I did 81,042 hits. If you tell me 10 and 6 hits, that's half of your business. Where is it? How could you not be ruining someone's day? Now, that's either that or another classic syndrome, you're lying to the boss syndrome to make me happy, which is even sicker than the black hole. Does everybody know what the black hole is? It's where your mystery premium goes somewhere. Now, I have a 100 app-based shop, 120 app-based shop, and we don't have any black hole problems. But your 12 app-based shop seems to have major black hole problems. I can't figure it out. I swear to God, right now, if I went, the report's back in Cindy's office, if I went back there right now, I glanced at it. There's about 16 mistakes on there from RVP to tell me what they did to what they're hitting. And Mark and Sue's is more than they thought, mine's more than I thought. You know, what are you guys going to do about that, John?
Well, shouldn't they either roll into the next month, or they should go on and rewrite the app stuff, and it should still hit the next month?
Let me just tell you.
That's really the truth, right?
Let's say I had 4 apps. I could tell you the type of ink and the style of writing by the time I got done with those 4 apps. I would know where it is, when it got there, the name of the person working on it. I would know every single thing about that app, because that means $300 to $500 to me, $200 to my rep, and an agent and a client's policy. That's how I was. You guys don't take it like that. You don't take it that personal. You always think, see, there, hey, listen, there's that problem again. You think somebody else is going to do it. Well, somebody else is going to do it. Somebody at the home office will get that's their job. You better get maniac about it.
Stacia follows up like a maniac.
Right.
And
we had like 3 or 4 sales that were coming back, they were ready to be mailed. And the lady, she goes, no way. She goes, you are not sending that off. And the lady went downstairs to the mailbox, pulled it out of the mail slot, took it out, and put it on the computer.
Right.
It was in the mailbox.
Right. Did you hear that? Because she went what? Now you guys know Stacia? Stacia's not a ballistic kind of person, is she? But there are times when somebody is jacking you around, okay, that you need to go ballistic. Like I used to go on those nurses that would send medical reports. Right? Folks, I did not enjoy being a goof. I didn't enjoy it. But when it was needed, I'm the best of them that you can find. I can be a goof with anybody. Or another word, I think an AH is a better word. I'll be the best with the best, believe me. When I need to be, you gotta get on like that. You are owners. Owners, not workers.
And that's the problem, is most people don't have leads.
It's not just a lease. I have had people with leases, Mark, that still don't act like owners. You guys are owners. You're dollars and cents. You're profit margin people. You think owner. Listen, owner, profit, owner, out of business. One of the two. Do you hear that? Profit. How do you make a profit? Right. We don't have markup here, do we? Because we don't have inventory. So we don't have that greed. We have issue. Issue, write that down. Put it on your refrigerator, your mirror. Issue equals profit. Now, Alex had a big sale this month. He has an app and 2 checks. You know how much money he's made so far? Nothing. There are, the other day, he comes to me, everybody, all the rep involved, and then there's a district that's dormant involved, and there's an RM involved, and there's an RVP involved, right? I haven't calculated that thing. 1 dime has ever entered my mind about that sale. When I heard it on my phone message, you know why? I didn't go, oh wow, I made I don't have that luxury. Do you? I only think about first thing I said to him, lower the white, way too much. They're not going to accept it. All I'm thinking about from the day I heard that sale was issue, issue, issue. No issue, no money. I don't care if it's $400,000 a year. Doesn't matter. I'm not excited. I'm only excited when it's, right, Debbie? Didn't you just have a big one issued?
Yep.
How much was it?
28,000.
$28,000. Who got paid?
No one else? Me? You? Mark and Sue?
Great. So then now it's issued checks, everything? Great. Was it a monthly?
Yes.
Okay, so then I'm going to get 1,000 advance, and 30% of 28 is what? 9 grand? So I'll get 8 grand divided by 12. Oh, good. Now I just got $700 a month. How's that? Override. Pretty good, huh? 1,000 advance and $700 a month for the next 12 months. Now I can do a backflip, JP.
But you didn't calculate what you made until you asked me if it was issued.
Right. Why would I?
Right.
There's no pay without issue here. Don't you understand that yet? Unless it gets issued, there's no profit.
I had a really long talk with Joe Falcone and Hawaii.
You gotta get that copy.
We're gonna get coffee. She's gonna do a videotape for us. She runs a 50 to 60 grand rate shop for $3,000.
Did you hear that?
Wow.
50 to 60 grand with a $3,000 to $4,000 UPI. Yeah. You know what they do? They give out a form, like we do. You know, how we do our 5-minute talk about what the agent's going to do and say and all that. They give out a form telling people, because she did this with studied all the stuff with all these different underwriters, what flunks people, what grades people. So they give this form to these the clients when they leave the house that says how they have to live for the next week to 10 days. They can't eat this, they can't eat butter, they can't eat this, can't eat wine, can't drink this, can't do that. Take a piss in the park, you know. I mean, they tell them exactly how to move for the next 5, 7 to 10 days. That's why they're having the success rate. You know, you might have a blood schedule tomorrow, and that guy's out Monday Night Football, let's say it's Monday Night Football season, and he's out at the bar all night drinking shots and washing them down with beer. And the next morning he wakes up, yeah, here's my arm, man. Go ahead, it's like, you might as well just pour that tap, right? Alcoholic. You see? Or maybe he eats a stick of butter before he goes to bed at night. I don't know. Right? There's something wrong. These ratings are unbelievable.
You know what? And everybody needs to start fighting to get those taken off and reduced. Yeah. Because they will do it, but you gotta fight.
Right.
The
Yeah.
taken are ridiculous.
They're ridiculous. Most of them are all just a glitch, a joke. But you know what? You know what the mood and the mode is around here? It's just a chargeback. I'll go write more business. Didn't you hear Rich's theory? Greatest theory I've ever heard. Maybe you guys weren't all here. Listen. Right. 3 sales for every chargeback. Now what's a chargeback look like to you, John? You got a different attitude about it right now when you look at that? You don't believe that makes 3 sales? Yeah, it does. Because what are you in the business? What are you? An owner, aren't you? What's an owner supposed to do? Dominic, did you ever own? What did you own?
What?
Meat company.
Meat company. So did you sell the meat at cost? No. You couldn't have made a profit. Because you had employees. So you had to pay employees, taxes, the whole cost of the building the meat plant was in. So you had to have the meat and the employee salaries and all that factored in. Then you had to charge a certain amount for the meat so that you could make a profit so you could live. Or there was no ownership of a meat product or a company or whatever, right? Whether you own a shoe store, a meat company, or a Primerica financial service business, you gotta make profit. Okay, now here's Rich's theory. Okay, you got the 1 sale, right? You just wrote. That's 1, right? Charge back. Now what happened? They just took $600 away from you, and you already spent the $600 you got. So now what do you got to do? You got a $600 balance, right? So what do you got to go do? 1 sale to get even. Now what do you got to do? You got to start making money because you got to make profit, or you're out of business. So what do you got to go do? 1 sale, profit. Is that unbelievable? That's the best thing I have ever seen to make you understand that you've got to stop having chargebacks. Trust me, folks. Stop writing business until you get this through your head, that it has to be issued. You are wasting your career away. And worse than that, you're wasting a client that maybe I could have wrote up. If you're not committed to issue, quit writing people up. You're causing our company nothing but grief.
What's missing on our team, and we had a big segment last night, is the crusade. We're not fighting for our clients' future.
Right.
It's about money. It's about, and Brian Easy one time told me, because I told him one time, yeah, we signed up for sale the other night. And this is when I was brand new in the business. I was all excited, didn't know nothing. He says, Jay, let me tell you something. It's not a slam dunk until it's on the books for 12 months. Right. And that's what's happening, is that people aren't fighting, and they don't have a crusade in their heart for these people's future.
What did I tell you guys last meeting I used to do when I got with Jay talking about? When anything even hinted towards a chargeback, what did I used to do? Huh? Sick. So I get that sick feeling to my stomach. Whoa, no! Nobody is taking this client back from they're not changing their thinking back. I know, no way. You gotta get like this, folks. Don't you understand what's on the line here? Huh? You gotta get like this in the chargeback area. The profit that this hierarchy is losing is monumental. Here we are with these lofty goals of having 150 to 200 people making $100 grand, and I know we can do it. I know we got better work ethic than anybody. anybody out there. I know we got better quality human beings than anybody out there. But one thing we lack is some of these other, like guys like Jerry Byers' organization. I mean, the buyers are half as big as the Youngers, and they make as much money. You figure that out. They don't have a bigger base shop, and they definitely don't have bigger purse. So how are they doing it? Profit. I mean, Rhonda and Jerry are profit hound dogs. They got the same kind of thing. They got $80,000 months with $6,000, $7,000 chargeback. We have done a miserable job in this area as a hierarchy. Miserable. You know? I mean, every great team, you know, has some, we are obviously a great team, but I don't care. We still got some weaknesses. Like this Orlando team is such a fun team to watch with Shaq and this Penny Hardaway guy and all that stuff. God, they get to the foul line, man. It's like, you know, sad to watch. Like, you cover your eyes. Cling, cling. I mean, they break at the rim with foul shots, man. They got some serious improvement. Plus, they have guys that take unwarranted, too quick shots. 20 seconds left on the clock, they're 5 feet behind the three-point line, the guy just throws it over his head. They got a bunch of problems on a very good team. Well, so do we. And we're going to fix every single problem we have because we're going to identify them and attack them, aren't we? We're no longer going to be the chargeback hierarchy. Yeah.
I have a client that got rated to 5 level, and we asked for a medical report, and on the medical report it said everything is within the normal parameters. What are you supposed to do in that case? If it's showing normal for everything on the medical report,
Did he send his letter in to request why he got?
We got the medical report from Primerica.
Okay.
On the medical report it says everything is within the normal parameters.
Okay,
Now
why
he's
did
going
he
to
get?
his doctor.
Why did he get rated then?
Well, they won't tell directly. They just give him the medical report. So we got the
No,
medical
there's a
report.
letter that you can send. I have a copy of a letter that I got that you can send to the home office that the client can sign, asking the specific reason why.
Yeah, there has to
they
be a
declined.
reason.
Because they won't tell you as an agent, but they will tell the client.
Well, we asked for the medical reason why they did that. They sent
You
the medical.
Right.
No, he did. I asked
He
him
did.
to do that. They sent him the medical report of why they did the evaluation and rating. But on that, it says that everything.
Okay,
top to
that's
bottom
not what
within
I'm
the
talking
normal
about. There's still a reason that he was rated.
It could have been his
That's-
medical history, it could
Yeah.
have been something he said to the EKG person.
That's what we need to know, and he's the only one that can find that out.
You know what, build a relationship with an underwriter, tell you things under the table.
You can get in touch with them.
Hey, Rick.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody has it.
Hey, Rick, Gary told me something that Ivan Earl told him that it just makes so much sense, and you keep it with you for the rest of your life career here. He says that, you think your lease payment is your biggest nut you got, to make every month. He says Primerica is your biggest creditor. If you look at it from the chargebacks every month, if you're getting $5, $6, $8 grand a month in chargebacks, that's your biggest creditor that you have.
That's a good point.
Some of the challenges that we have in our base shop is people not delivering policies after they have the issue. They keep it for 1 month, 2 months, and then we get a phone call from the client saying, I don't have my policy, the night waiting. I think you.
Well, if I found that out in my base shop, I would call that person in and ask them to quit. I would. I would say, look, do the hierarchy, the company a favor and quit. Please do not write up another client. Please. You have no intention on taking care of you. We're in here for a buck or whatever you got in here for. You can't make them. You can't threaten them, which thank God we can't. I don't want to be a part of that. But I would sure ask them to quit. I would. Point blank. If Alex McInvan was doing that, or Mike Armandaris, some of my best people, I would call them in first Tuesday night. I heard that Alex wasn't delivering policies. Flat out asking to quit tomorrow night. In a heartbeat. That is so tragic. Can you imagine finally getting something issued and then still not getting it? And it still goes not taken because we are delivering a policy? A 5-minute act? I mean, crazy stuff. stuff, man. You meet somebody at work for 5 minutes. Oh, listen, John, where do you work? Great. Can you step away for 5 minutes? I'll be in that area. I'll stop by. You have that out of your hair. Take it home. Throw it in your cabinet. Don't worry about it for 25 years. Right? 20 years, whatever you wrote out. Come on, you guys. I guess this part bugs me the most because when I was involved more in the field, that I had such a much better handle on this, and the bigger we get, and I know the youngers are experiencing that now, things get out like that, it starts to go out like that, and you lose that control. So I'm trying to appeal to you guys. Listen, Hector talked about this too at that dinner. So he talks about this all the time. He always talks about how he never feels sorry for anybody. And I'm the same exact way. I feel sorry for afflicted, third world people, people that don't have chances we have. You, I don't feel sorry anymore for a second. Not 1 second. Like if some of you, listen, I hate to make these predictions, but it's true. Some of you sitting in this room right now are absolutely going to be working a job a year to 2 years from now because of this subject. And I'm going to tell you how sorry I'm going to feel for you.
Another challenge too is, when the presentation is not presented the right way, people think that they're even getting something basically for nothing. Or maybe there's a plan, or maybe after 2 years, got a pain or this or other crap that happens. That's happening too. You get these folks that don't want to do their policies because they're afraid of what clients get find out.
That they lie, that they, yeah.
And then you have different, presentations going on within the same day shop or hierarchy, and it gets confusing. That's why the company wants to know it's that one type.
Yeah. It's too bad. Remember they said that we'd have all that stuff on our desk when we got home? Anybody got it? No. You got it, John?
Outside our door. Outside our door.
You got it. All right, maybe we'll get it today. Because we'll deal with this in the next couple of weeks, but hopefully we can have it in the system. But we are all going to the same thing. And I'm going to tell you why. I was just gone 6 days. I told you about how many things I get. I walked in, there was another 5 compliance letters on it. See, you guys, I told you this, I told my base shop this Saturday. Remember when that light thing happened? What were we doing? Cheering, weren't we? And what did I tell you? Well, we're cheering now, but trust me, there's going to be major grief for us too coming down because of this. Well, it's here. What is it? It's called the insurance department's going nuts on every company that's got licensed agents working for them, including us. There is no longer anything you can do wrong. Gary, when somebody brings an app into you and they forgot to get the client's signature, you can no longer go to the overhead and put it on the overhead and sign it. Because if they find out you did that, you're driving a truck again. You understand? I know. I've done that stuff. Even maybe up to 4 or 5 months ago, I was, the signature, no big deal, right? Just a waste of everybody's time? Well, fine, waste of time. Because I'm telling you right now, one slip up, and you can be gone. That's it. Everybody, Joe addressed that. He did do a good job when it came to that. And he said, some of you, he did all these questions that everybody bitches and moans about, right? And one of them was, what are you doing when you're like an axe man? What's all this compliance crap and stuff like that, right? So, in other words then, because of one person, say, in this room, you can take a hierarchy down. Oh, you think you're that special, huh? Right? If you go down, everybody goes down. Is that how you think? No. It ain't happening that way. I'll tell you right now, straighten up any little problems you have. Because the company has come out now. Here's the good news. It's good. It's very good, thank God. I like it. Now, there are some things in it I don't like. For example, their cash value page is way, I think that's what Joe was going over, wasn't he? Right when I shut the thing off. because it gave me a headache the last time he was going over it, okay? Way too busy. I mean, if you had that slide up on this wall right now, there'd be print, you know, I mean, just can't even read it. Okay, our cash value slide is way better. And our cash value slide is in compliance. Now, Bank A and Bank B is out. Okay? Because as a hierarchy, you cannot trust. I'm not at Gary's meeting. Gary's not, let's say McLean opens an office. Gary's not at McLean's meeting. As you get bigger and bigger, right? You don't know. I'm not at John opens an office. I'm not at his meeting. It's in Palmdale or Sandy's. Or you can't control that, right? Because here's what's wrong. Bank A and Bank A, right? They have, you lose the savings if you die. 90% of the time. Right? You lose the savings if you die. 90% of the time. But in some variable lives and in some universal lives, now you're not losing the savings. So we can't just get up on a stage anymore and go, yeah, now which one would you choose, A or B? But now remember, A, there are 10%. It doesn't make any sense anymore. Forget it. It doesn't work. We have to prove that by term and invested difference is still way better of a concept without it. Now, when you're on an appointment, so tonight you go out on an appointment after this, and you pick up a universal life policy, and it has option A, where they lose their savings if they die. Guess what? You can beat the crap out of that now, can't you? But all of you have been on an appointment where they didn't lose the savings. So you couldn't use Bank A, really, could you? Because the most powerful thing on Bank A is they lose their savings if they die, right? So out that goes, out of the slides. Can't do it. You get a compliance guy in here from another company, and how do you know who's sitting in your off night? And you're up there badgering and beating up the fact that companies are keeping people's savings when they die, and he goes to the insurance department, you got a chance to be out of business. Is that what you want? Yeah. As long as you can only show it if you have already looked at their policy and they have Bank A.
How about if we reword it to 90% on
Or in most cases.
most cases?
You can. I don't know if that's legal. The slides aren't going to be in the presentation. They are not going to be sitting up there on a wall so that some guy from Prudential's sitting in here. Okay? Now you understand that that's a very big possibility now, don't you? Because you know how badgered they're getting. They're badgered beyond belief right now. I mean, what was that Wall Street thing? Wasn't there a whole nother... You got Prudential again? Yeah. They got just crashed again in the Wall Street Journal. Now, what do you think they're going to do? Matt, what do you think they're going to do? Sit around and let us get our way, right? No, what are they going to do? They're going to start trying to find dirt on us, right? We don't have any dirt. We have one product. It's pretty hard to mess up our product, right? What do we have, though? We have shaky slides and words we say. That's where we're kind of like, we say things that to us are right. Okay? Because 90% to us is 100% of the time. But to a compliance guy, that was good. I'm not going to like that one, right? But to compliance people, okay, compliance people, that's not true. Congratulations on the ring again, Mark.
Well done.
Right.
Come
Come on, I want to lose it.
The whole life policy that you want to issue.
Yeah, right.
They're using that in every company.
Right. So again, they can get busted. You can get them. That's not. It was a mess. A lady got sick. She had our term policy, old Milico policy. She wanted permanent, right? So this Prudential guy says, well, I can't issue you, but Milico, you can get this converted to whole life. So Rick Rupert was forced to do it by the company, because the lady calls up company, and there was a conversion privilege to old Milico whole life, right? So they had to do it. Well, they had to issue a new policy, right? Well, Prudential guy gets back with the client, gets a copy of the policy, sends it to their home office. They've given it to all their agents now that we sell whole life. Yeah, now MetLife has it, right?
So that's illegal, they're selling it.
Absolutely.
They're selling colored copies of it in Nalu magazine with a video on how to beat up,
Right.
a video you buy for $35, how to beat up a Primerica agent. I've been on 4 confrontations, they've used it, and they build it up in front of the client by asking you, what would you think of a company that sells cash value? Is that a good thing to do? No. What would you, is it a good product? No. What would you think of a company that did it? Does your company do it? No. Well, then explain this. Boom. And all they're doing, in the article that they have, all they want you to do, all they're trying to do is get you out of the house so they can sell it every, and they say so in the stupid article in the video.
Now,
That's
20
Norco or Primerica.
The 25-year product pretty much fixes everything.
Yeah.
You know, if you sell mostly the 25-year product, which you should be selling to cash value clients, I don't know why you would not sell our 15 or 25-year product to a cash value client. In my opinion, there's hardly ever a reason to not do that. Because obviously they're the ones that can afford that. They like the concept, they wouldn't have bought that concept of, right, where they forced savings type of thing, which is the 25 years, you got that built in. That'll, because I'm telling you right now, that second through 25th year is just absolutely ridiculous. How cheap that is. Jay did that thing the other day. What was it? Guy for $350. How old was he? 35?
35-year-old male, 350,000. And
470 the last 2 through 25th year.
it went from 142 to 76.
But his cost, that was with the
Oh,
wife.
yeah, oh, yeah.
His cost was only for 350 on him.
1,200 to 470.
To 470. The guy will be 60 years old and paying 470. That'll be the year 2020. 470 measly bucks for 350 instant $1,000. You understand? That is unreplaceable. You gotta market that product, folks, if you want to have a good persistence. Okay? So that'll negate that. Now, what I would do too on that situation is I would go in there and say, look, we're a member of the Travelers. Now, Travelers has a company, another division that sells whole life. But we don't agree with them either. As a matter of fact, if you had Travelers tonight, I'd be replacing them. The old company we used to have, Millico, they had whole life too. We just will never market that product. That's all you have to say, and it's all you have to teach your client. See? Because we are a member of the Travelers Group, and the Travelers Group sells variable annuities, variable life, universal life. Do you? Right? Is commercial credit the same as RCM management? Same, both Travelers Group though. So PFS is not the same as Travelers Insurance Companies, are they? So be aggressive with it. Don't hide it. That way when the agent comes back and says that, says, I know, they told us that, but they don't market that.
You know what?
Let Matt go first.
We're gonna file, we found out from home office, we can file a complaint too, because the agent said we sell whole life, we
Right.
don't. And so
Right.
they're twisting the client
Right.
to make them believe we sell.
PFS does not sell whole life.
Also, at the office manager meeting in Atlanta, they said that if the agent does that, that you need to report them to Travelers or to Primerica, and they will jerk like.
They won't let them
Sell
offer,
Travelers.
market travel.
That's what
Okay,
they said to the
great.
office manager.
So that's what I'm saying. We gotta get offensive and aggressive, yeah.
I think it also, since you're at the kitchen table while you're doing the presentation and you're talking about what we believe in, thumb through your rate book with the client and go over the fact that all we have is term to even in our rate book.
Right. I always gave the rate book to the client.
Right.
When I was on an appointment, the client used to figure out their premium. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Hopkins, you guys should be doing that. Get them happily involved, right? Yeah, well, I'm not saying, give them the calculator then, right. But in our day, it was easy, it was only 20-year level product, that was it. The only product I had was pretty easy. I used to have them look themselves up, 35, well, you know, and do that calculation. Well, whatever you need to do to show that's a good point Sue makes, get them to see that we sell term only. Okay? See, the industry can never do anything against us except credibility things. That's why you guys on your appointments want to do that and teach teach all your people to do that, to deal with all these credibility issues before you leave. Because if you're aggressive, offensive, you're going to have a lot more success, Jeff.
Well, the other thing about the whole complaint thing, we always hand out these old agents, what the old agents will say things, which I don't think have ever been approved. And, the company has a brochure that says, like, what would you think if Ford said your GM car is gonna break down tomorrow? It's got all these different headlines, which I know that stuff is approved. Cause that makes me nervous to leave those sheets.
We better get rid of them.
Oh, you know what you can leave now is they just come out with a new, like, something that combats the risk and reward.
Open up.
Yes.
Yeah, that new thing that had that opportunity or, what does it say on the front?
Oh, yeah, open opportunity.
Open up, no, risk and reward's their piece. Open opportunity. Now, what are those, about 15 cents each? So imagine that's $1 for every 6 sales. Can you imagine not leaving a 15-cent brochure to save your $600
It's
page?
just gonna come back with a risk and reward.
Right,
Oh, yeah,
right.
I already have several written.
That's the thing that they give out now that says that, what's involved in that? They have, is that what Matt's talking about?
No.
No? What's this risk and reward?
Well,
Yeah. Yeah, the reason we went to Travelers is because we were doing this and that A.L. Williams had to do that and all that kind of crap.
Used to be rhetoric versus reality.
Yeah.